Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. On this analysis related to Chainlink and its token Link, none of the content financial advice. Right now, the price of Link is at around $9.72. It has come down quite a bit from this area of support that it once enjoyed from no, June 2023 till about December 2025. Now, what I would imagine is that this ascending line, which was once a area of support, would more than likely be an area of resistance of for any major rallies in 2026, the counter trend rallies in 2026. What Link needs to do to in order to stay relevant for the future cycle is at least put a new higher low. It could be as low as this area over here, um, where price held as support for quite a while before eventually breaking down in the depths of the bear market to the downside. I'll color this a little different so as to be distinct from other uh, colors. So this area where the price action did go, again it could be as low depending on how you draw it. Um, this area, this red line over here at around $6.64. If Link somehow manages to stay above it in 2026, that could go a long way to establish the nature of Link being from cycle to cycle growing at some at least at some distinct pace, where the price action could form a multi-cycle higher low. So the range for Link for this year for Link to stay relevant is somewhere between $6.50 at the lows, and the highs could be as high as about $15.50, which is again an expanding line over here. So let's say if we are into May of 2026, so this is Jan 2027, December 2026 would be somewhere over here. um, the range highs in December 2026 could be at around $19 instead of $15 over here, and the support at around $6.50. Coming to the key moving averages for the bear market is this blue line which turns white. That's the 200 week simple moving average. Whenever the price is below the 200 week, the color is in white color. Similarly, the 300 week simple moving average is at around is the red line, sorry, the green line which turns red when the price is below 300 week simple moving average. Link is now both the price is both below the 200 week and the 300 week moving average. The 200 week simple moving average is at $12.45. 300 week is at around $14.92. So based on these two averages, Link is in an accumulation zone, just looking at some of the longer term moving average for an altcoin. But again, it all needs to be in line with what Bitcoin and other cryptos are doing. So for example, is Bitcoin close enough to the 200 week simple moving average? The answer is no. Right now, the 200 week simple moving average is about $20,000 less than the current price at around 58K. And the 300 week is at around 50K. So those data points also are valid for the wider crypto market, which moves based on what Bitcoin is doing. From the longer term perspective, this is the price action of Link from 2017 to now 2026. Largely speaking, again, the area of support, if we were to draw a line trying to connect as much points as possible, this higher low structure, if it were to prevail, let's say till the end of year 2026, early 2027, again it's not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but if it were to prevail, the area of support for Link uh, has to be, again, as price action moves uh, closer to that $8 to $8.30 target. From monthly view, this area needs to hold some sort of a support. Again, if you were to be slightly more bearish and trying to connect as many points since 2017, you could draw it this way as well. That gives you some wiggle room where the price needs to bottom out at around slightly under $8. So between $6.50 and $8, that becomes a logical conclusion for link's bottom if the technical analysis were to hold true. Coming to our own website on cryptoweeklies.com, all of the charts available for free, starting with the machine learning based price analysis for link. The lows which are still possible if there is a 6 months consistent downtrend for link. Again, we have been link has been in a downtrend starting August of 2025, although Bitcoin peaked in October 2025. You can see over here October, first week of October 2025. That's when Bitcoin peaked at around 125 126k. Link has been in a downtrend for much more um longer duration, so almost 2 to 3 months before Bitcoin's peak, late August. Then we had September and October, late October, where Bitcoin peaked. So there could be a case that Link would have only 4 months of downturn in 2026. If that's the case, 4 months starting February, March, April, and May, let's say late May 2026, what could be a theoretical floor for Link that is close enough to $6 level at a weekly average price? The actual lows could be slightly lower than $6, so that is within one standard deviation drop to the downside. The upside for Link, if there were any major counter trend rally in 2026, is between $10.20 and about $19. That's where, again, confluent with this ascending lines drawn from June 2023. So some area of confluence, and these are again distinct models. So if they have some confluence, it adds to the weight. So that $6 bottom and the $19 peak could be the range for 2026 for Link. What does it mean in terms of Link accumulation? In terms of accumulation strategy for Link, again, not financial advice. This is the regression based fair value estimation, the polynomial regression model with two degrees of freedom, trying to estimate what is a fair value of Link, which is an altcoin which does not have a meaningful fair value that has to go up with time, as altcoins are largely cyclical. Even for that matter, Bitcoin is cyclical. It makes sense to have one more degree of freedom than the regular linear regression based model. um, right now the fair value for Link is at around $8.80. The price of Link is at around $9.80, roughly speaking, a dollar difference between the fair value and the current price. That means, as this model kind of projects that as the bull market has gone behind us and has come to a conclusion, in the bear market the fair value typically goes down with time, especially towards the end of the bear market, to account for any large scale drops, like we had for Link in the middle of the bear market from April 2022, when the price moved below the or dropped below the fair value, and then had a sharp decline from April 2022 from $13 level to at $1.5.80 level. The $5 support did hold for Link in even in June 2023, as the market kind of bottomed for Link. The bottom regression is right now out of scope. What we need to see is, again, where could the peak be for Link in 2026? Right now it's at around $26. Extrapolating it out again towards the middle of year again gets you to that $19 level. So if there is a counter trend rally, again, it cannot go straight up. It needs to build out a base or something, which would need 3 to 6 months. Even that counter trend rally per this dotted red line resolves somewhere at around $19. That's the well defined range across the three models. If we were to project the regression based trend line, how it could proceed for the next 6 months, again coming to that same conclusion of about $6.30, that could be the fair value for Link in June July 2026. Price could be slightly lower than the fair value like it usually does, but again, the caveat being, in 2022 the fair value was a rising function, whereas in 2026 it's a dropping function. So a drop below the fair value could be it, like it was back in April 2025, where the price action dropped about 10% below the fair value to kind of be okay with that level, and then rush back to a counter trend rally. So where could the price go at a bottom? The point two is at around $6.50. If there is a further drop, the 0.15 risk is at around $4.88. The worst case scenario, again, price can always go to zero. There is nothing stopping if price action to go towards zero, especially from cycle to cycle. But again, uh, just adding weight uh, and maximum weight to the risk levels between point 0.1 and point 0.2 makes the most amount of sense. The midpoint being close to the $5 level. The higher end is at around $6.50 level. Using the 20-week simple moving average analysis, you can find that the price is still above the 0.18 risk. That means the price is close to a bottom in terms of the bear market bottoms. But usually, whenever the price has this purple color, which typically occurs after a steep decline, that's when uh, the the major chunk of the bear market is over. And again, even though the price action could go low in the future, the accumulation zone has typically started if once that happens. And not financial advice. Overall, the summary risk of the three moving average, the 20-week, which is in blue color, the 100-week, which is at orange color, and the 200-week, which is in red color, all of these individual risk based individual simple moving average based model are normalized into a normalized risk. If we get rid of other moving averages just for the sake of simplicity, and try to identify what was the risk for accumulation for link throughout the course of bullish phases and the bearish phases. Again, this is not some retroactively fitted model, this is a live model. Right now this model says that accumulation risk for link is only 3%, and at one point in January 2026 it actually reached zero. That means in 2026 there is a great likelihood that link would bottom, and the risk levels for accumulations would more likely be closer to 2022, where there are good zones for accumulation for a prolonged period of time. The time weighted average price for link has also signaled an uh, accumulation trigger. The price is now below the blue line, which is the price multiplied by the time spent at a typical price level, to inform how much of the price action can stay elevated based on the time it has spent in some of the key levels. If let's say an asset has spent inordinate number of days above $20, or let's say $50, it takes a lot to get the price action down from that level, because by the virtue of it spending so much time above it. So similarly, that time weighted average price, you can see, has this blue line over here. If the price action stays above it for quite a long period of time, like it did from May 2019 till almost 3 years to May 2022, the slope of the the slope of the time weighted average price changes to account for those time periods where the price spent a lot of time above it. And then once that uh, euphoria kind of settles, the time weighted average price is largely a flat trajectory, and anytime the price came below the blue line, it was a great opportunity to DCA, or dollar cost average, into link. Right now the time weighted average price for link is at around $10.72. Price is below that level. That means for this model, price action is in an accumulation phase. But again, you can see that again the price doesn't have to bottom at the time weighted average price, like again in the bull market it did in 2024 and in 2025, where the price came close to the blue line. That was the uh, end of the drop for link. But in the bear market of 2022, even in the downturn of 2018-2019, price action did drop from the time weighted average price. At one point the time weighted average price was at around $8.80, or even and the price did drop to $5.30, so about a $3.50 drop. And in terms of percentage, that would be close to 35% to 40% drop from here. And similarly, from that the time weighted average price of about $10, 35% drop would take the price action close to that $7 or $7.50 level. And again, if you want to be more generous than that, the price action could floor at around $6.30-50 as described by the other models as well. Nonetheless, this model has flagged a DCA zone for link. So most of the models, individually speaking, are pointing to a DCA zone, but that doesn't come without a risk that link could fall again. This is the bear market bottom projection. The lows forecasted for this bear market using time weighted average price risk, the SMA risk or the simple moving average risk, and the regression risk. The weighted risk is at around 0.28. The price is at around $9.80. The base bear case bottom projection per this bear market analysis is almost only 10% down from here, slightly under $8.80 for link. Whereas the panic case, that is again a bottom with some sort of a panic but not a full blown recession uh, uh, for link, is at around $7, which is about 27% lower from here. And the worst case scenario is at around $5.93 as of today, which is slightly under 40% drawdown from the current price. With that, I would like to conclude by saying again, although things are looking bearish for 2026, uh, if there is a prolonged alt season after 2026, let's say in 2027, 2028, timeline to be decided, and if link stays relevant as an asset class or crypto ticker, like it did for most of its journey, um, so right now again link is still, if you sort the market, the crypto market by market cap, link is definitely within the top 20 cryptos and has been inside the top 20 cryptos for a prolonged period of time. Tokenomics is only improving as the asset matures. Almost 70% of the max supply is now in circulation, but again has performed poorly over the last 30 days, last 7 days, and the last 24 hours, like major cryptos are performing. So again, not too uncorrelated with the wider asset class. But if let's say link stays meaningfully above the top, inside the top 20 cryptos by market cap, and if there is a decent altcoin season in the next bull run, the base peak forecasted for link in that environment is at around between $75 and $76, which is roughly speaking somewhere between 7.5x and 7.5x and 8x of the current price. And if let's say link were to bottom at around $7 and then peak at around $75, that's slightly about 10x. So with that, I would like to conclude. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.